In today's video, I'm going to show you how to plan, launch, and track your social media campaign so that you can be able to actually get clients that you want through social media. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Gloria, and let's get to it. If you've never come up with a social media marketing strategy ever in your entire life, then this is a masterclass on what you're supposed to know. Now, the first thing you need to know about a social media marketing campaign is you need to know exactly who you're targeting, why you're targeting these people, and what offer are you actually selling to these people. Because essentially what you need to track is you attracting the right people who you want. The second thing you need to track is the conversion rate. So how many people follow you, how many people share your videos, how many people engage with your content. And then the third thing is off platform conversion. That means getting a sale, getting someone to inquire, getting someone to email you, or even landing into a partnership or a collaboration with someone. Because essentially it's going to lead to a business partnership that is going to be essential in propelling you and your business and your brand in the direction of making money and recognition. Let's get into the good stuff. And the first step is actually setting the goal for your social media campaign. Now, with social media, there are three things that you're supposed to pay attention to. You're supposed to pay attention to your leads. That means the amount of people who are interested in whatever it is you're selling. The second metric that you're going to pay attention to is going to be your sales. So how many people have converted and actually purchased the offers that you have, and they have been able to actually work with you one-on-one. And then the third metric that you're going to pay attention to is going to be your engagement. So that means the number of people who follow your account, the number of people who DM you, the number of people who engage with your contact, whether it's liking, sharing, or even posting with their friends on other platforms. Because essentially, these are the right signals that are going to tell you that whatever you're doing is correct. Because remember, you need to track the exact things that you want in order for you to be able to measure and see if your social media campaign is actually successful. So when you're setting your goal, you have to decide at least one of these things, whether you want leads, whether you want sales, or you want engagement. Step number 2 when you're building your social media marketing campaign is choosing the right platforms. Now, I know a lot of us like pushing our social media efforts towards every platform, but you need to be very specific on which platforms you want to convert for, because each and every platform has different audiences with different mannerisms, and you'd want to ensure that whatever campaign you're running on whichever platform is actually successful. So if you're looking for sales, you are more likely to get the results that you actually want if you focus on long form kind of content or platforms that are considered serious. So that means you need to focus your efforts on YouTube and on LinkedIn, because this is where a lot of people are invested in what you're saying, they're invested in your products, and are more likely to purchase. If you are focused on engagement and growth, then chances are you are going to see success if you're choosing and focusing your efforts on TikTok and on Twitter, because the people who are on those two platforms, they really pay attention to engagement metrics like sharing, reposting, and screenshotting and sharing it with their community, and that is how you get better reach and better engagement. If you are focusing on sales, then chances are you are going to experience more success on Instagram, because you have the ability to actually DM people and you have the ability to build a connection with these people through the DMs without you necessarily leaving the platform. Now, the third step is you actually need to define what your core audience for that social media marketing campaign are going to be. And then the second thing that you have to clarify is going to be the campaign message. Now, let's first start talking about your core audience. Now, essentially, when you are building a marketing campaign, there are three types of people you actually attract. The first type of people are going to be people who are probably not aware they have a problem, they're not aware about your solutions, they don't even know you exist. And then the second group of people are the people who are aware they have a problem, but they don't necessarily know you actually have their solutions, or even if there are right solutions for their problem. And then the third kind of people that you're going to attract with your content is going to be the people who are ready to purchase. What you want to do is to attract the people who are ready to purchase, which loosely translates to people who are ready to convert. So you need to figure out who are the people you actually want to attract and make them convert, because essentially this is a two-way traffic. You attract the right people and you convert them into your community. The second thing you need to get clear on is going to be your campaign message. In this particular instance, you need to understand the rule of one. Clarity and alignment always beats confusion with content and with marketing. So you need to ensure that you use the rule of one, which loosely translates to you need to identify one problem, give one solution, give one action that you want people to take, and you need to ensure that you're measuring only one thing from that campaign. For example, if you want someone to actually follow you, then that means you need to create problem solving content. You need to attract one kind of audience. So it could be content creators or the people you want to attract. And your call to action should always be follow my account. That is going to be easier to measure because all your marketing efforts or all your content creation efforts are leading towards people actually converting through following you on your social media profile. So up to that point, I don't know if I already shared this, but we have just been discussing your social media marketing campaign strategy. We've not yet dived into the launching and the metrics that you're going to be following or checking through. So let's talk about that. Now, the first thing you need to think about before you even think about launching is your marketing efforts or your social media marketing efforts going to be completely organic, or are you going to use ads? Because essentially what you want to do is you need to be clear right off the bat of what exactly do you want to do. Now for me, I usually do 100% organic marketing and measuring how people actually convert to my organic content. But you can also include a hybrid model where you have a certain period of time where you're running the campaign organically, and then you include the ads probably later if you want to do more sales or you want to bring more awareness, whatever it is, to boost the posts that you're actually doing. Now, with that being said, you need to also ensure you plan out your schedule of when you're gonna be launching, when you're going to be checking in with your analytics and the team, as well as when you're going to stop the marketing campaign, because it's very important to time every single social media marketing campaign you do, because you would want to have a strategic timeline or a strict timeline where you can sit down and analyze what has worked, what hasn't worked, as well as what needs improvement and what needs to change. Step number 7 of your social media marketing campaign is going to be setting up your measuring and your tracking tools, because essentially you want to ensure that the efforts that you're putting into social media are leading to something, and it has to be something meaningful. Can we first talk about measuring your KPIs or even defining your KPIs? And if you don't know what KPIs mean, it essentially stands for key performance indicators, which you are going to look at when you're looking at your social media marketing campaigns to give you the signals that whatever you're doing is actually right. Now, you need to define your KPIs in 3 main ways. First, you need to identify the goal, which is essentially the most important part of your social media campaign. The second thing you need to define are your core audience, which I've already discussed in the previous points that we've talked about. And then the third thing that you need to define is going to be the traffic. How many people are converting, how many people are actually buying, how many people are even DMing you to ask you questions about whatever offer you are having with the call to action that you've actually set. And then the second thing that you need to have is a tracking tool. Now, I like tracking my social media marketing campaigns or my content marketing efforts with Excel and Google Sheets. And if you need me to do a tutorial, feel free to let me know in the comment section, because I would be more than happy to share with you my secrets, my tutorials, and everything I do with Google Sheets, because honestly, this is one tool that you will never miss in any of my strategic planning or strategic processes or even content marketing, because I do love the product. You need a tracking tool. I love using Google Sheets, but you can find a tool that you actually prefer, from Airtable to Notion to even Asana, whichever tool works for you. Make sure you have a tool that you're using to actually track your efforts, because when the duration period of your social media marketing campaign ends, you will need to sit down and look at the data you've been able to collect, which is going to be documenting. So you need to also take screenshots of the efforts that you're doing. So that can be either weekly or daily or even monthly, depending on what your campaign actually looks like and the duration of your campaign. Now that is it with this video. I'm hoping that you guys liked it and found these tips to be particularly helpful. If you did, then make sure to give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so, because it really does help support my channel. But if you feel like sticking around, I did do a video talking about how to plan out your content, where it's a step-by-step tutorial on what I usually do. So if you feel like you're quite stuck when it comes to coming up with a content plan or a content strategy, that video is highly going to help you with your content marketing efforts. But up to that point, thank you so much for watching until the end, and I am going to see you in the how to plan your content video.